Third album, haven't you? Tighten Up Volume 88. How do you think it differs from the last two?
Well, I think that every record that we make is different from the last one. I think it's about change. It's not about getting on a formula and staying there, you know. So I think that if you don't make a record that's different from your last LP, then you're not sort of doing your job, you know. You have to keep moving forward, or at least be moving somewhere. So we try to be more simple.
Yeah, you had a bit of a run-in with the computer on this one, didn't you?
Yeah, well, sort of we ran it out of the studio.
Yeah.
Really, I think we're getting back to basics and trying to play a bit. You know, we all played together in the studio as a band this time. It wasn't a case of sort of sitting in the control room and looking through and watching your record coming together, you know. It's more of a physical effort. I actually like the idea of struggling with your instruments, you know, trying to get something out of it that way.
Struggling with your instruments. Do you do a lot of struggling with your instruments?
And, trying to sing as well is difficult, but
it works.
Yeah, because it's not easy, you know, but you have to try hard. You have to strive for it.
All right, we're going to have some more from Mick after more videos. You went to Memphis, didn't you, Mick?
Yeah, I did.
How was that?
Well, it was sort of a musical pilgrimage for me. It was like a holiday, but all to do with music, not to do with sort of sitting around on the beach or anything, because there isn't any beaches in Memphis.
Because you couldn't find one.
But I went to Graceland, the home of Elvis, and Sun Studios, where he recorded his first stuff. And I think we'd like to go back there in the winter time. You still go in there and record. And
can you actually record there?
Yeah, make an EP or something.
Really?
I'd like to make an EP, you know, 4 tracks on it. Something where along the lines of Got Live If You Want It by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
So what about, there's a rock and roll track on the album called Escarita.
Yeah, that's right. It was, it's about this guy who sort of really influenced Little Richard. Little Richard was like the acceptable face of this guy, if you like.
Yeah.
He sort of, Little Richard went to this guy, Escarita, and said, look, I think your outfits are fantastic, sequined outfits. Let me lend them, right? And Escarita used to go, woo, just like Little Richard does.
How'd he go?
Woo! And he borrowed his suit and went out there and stole his act.
Really?
Yeah, and...
not a lot of people know that.
Not a lot of people know that, but we've got a track on the LP called Escarita, and hopefully it's going to turn some people onto it.
Yeah, I think EMI are bringing out an Escarita album now.
That's right, yeah.
They were brought to the attention of your song.
That's good, though, because, you know, other people didn't hear about him yet, and now they can have the opportunity to check him out if they want to.
Yeah, it's great. All right, we're going to talk a bit... That was Big Audio Dynamite's Just Play Music. That was the first single from the album, isn't it?
That's right, it's out all over Europe at the moment, yeah. And we shot it in Europe while we were going around on our Video 8 camera, and then we put those black things each side of it to make it look like it was 35mm film, but it was actually really just us doing it cheaply on a little camera going around all the time. But we were in front of a lot of people because we were out there supporting U2. That was last summer.
Don't tell them that.
No, it's true. But,
yeah.
You too.
Yeah, me too.
As well. But,
I was there too.
So it's good because we hadn't been much in Europe and people got to see us. No.
No, you hadn't played there at all, had you?
Sure, we've been for a few TV shows, but not really done a tour. But we're going to do our own tour now in about September, October. We're going to go all over Europe. We're going to especially do a whole French tour. Like, you know, like we do a tour of England, we're going to do a tour of the UK soon. We're going to actually go to France and treat it like...
In the same way, and then gradually work through Europe and do the whole thing.
Yeah, except we're going to be for a long time if we do it like that.
So we'll get round to sort of Switzerland and Germany about 3 years from now.
No, but we're coming now. We're going to try and do a European assault.
OK, well, we're going to go and have a look at the Bubble Men, and the Bubble Men are coming.
You have to laugh when it's the Bubble Men.
You have to. You've got to laugh, honestly, some of the titles. But the title of your new album, Tighten Up Volume 88, that's it's a bit of a rip-off.
Yeah, it is. It's like... Well, we worked it out. There was a series in the 60s of reggae and sort of ska and blue beat on the Trojan label called Tighten Up, and it went to about Tighten Up Volume 12 or something, and it was very varied each time. It had different acts on it. And when we finished the record, one of our tracks was called Tighten Up Volume 88, but we decided that we should call the whole album that because it was all totally varied, you know, and it sort of kind of fitted in. We called it Volume 88 because we figured that by about this time, if the Tighten Up series had kept going, it would be up to about 1988, you know, and it would be about Volume 88. It's got 12 tracks on it.
And
not 88.
He's a little wag, isn't he?
It's quite a big wag, actually.
Oh. What I was going to say then was about the title of the last album, Number 10 Upping Street. There's always a little story behind these titles.
The story behind that one was Downing Street is such a downer, you know, that we wanted to, like, wouldn't it be great if it was, we had a funky Prime Minister, you know, and it was like something we could be up about, you know, and so we just imagined that the funky Prime Minister lived at Number 10 Upping Street.
Because I wondered if many Europeans sort of caught on to that, because if they actually knew Number 10 Downing Street, where she lives, but now you know that's what it was all about. OK, we're going to go and have a look at the gig guide now, and then we're going to be back. We're not, we're going to go and see it because MC Squared.